Hey. I just popped on here, so I'm still just trying to fight the talk void. Welcome in.
Welcome in. We're going to get started here shortly. Our list is going to be open today. We will be doing $20 dual reads, so you are going to get a read from both myself and ChildOfBalance. We have Cash App and Venmo in both of our link trees and our bios. It doesn't matter which one of us you pay. We'll deal with that part on our end. Let us know how you donated in the chat, so we don't miss anybody and we can get you on the list.
Welcome in. Thank you for sharing the live. Thank you for tapping the screen. Thank you for being here. We're just getting started. Welcome in.
As always, if you have collective questions, you can drop them in the chat and we will answer them. As a reminder, collective questions are things that benefit you and the collective, or that are topics that we can talk about. If you have an individual question which requires either of us to tap into your personal energy, that is a space you need to utilize the reads for. And those are kind of questions. We will not answer questions like, is so-and-so coming back, or anything like that, as it is our practice that we do not tap into energy of anybody who is not present to consent. So we just like to be upfront about that, so you know what you're getting from us and what our parameters are, because you don't know what you don't know.
However, you can flip 90% of your questions in regards to your energy, and then we can answer them. So instead of, is Matthew gonna do this? We can throw something like love and relationship, or what you need to worry about while he's off doing his own thing. So there's a lot of ways that we can turn it back to something that's helpful for you, but it always has to work within your energy. Megan, I see you. We'll put you on the list. We'll toss collective real fast, and then we will start off. I'll have Keys start off with you. Welcome in.
Welcome in, everybody. Thank you for tapping that screen and sharing the live.
I see you, Rooted. I saw your payment. No worries, girl. We're just getting started.
We'll just look. Welcome in.
You want to fire off collective?
Yep, I do. I'm gonna be real honest. There's a big message about illumination of fear for everybody, because this is like this is a, we call it a turning in the tables, a turning in the tides, whatever you want to call it. But we are at this point where like fear is being illuminated for a lot of people, because you have to overcome your fear and you have to no longer be rooted in that. You can no longer build a foundation on fear. So at this point in time, it's being illuminated for people, which makes this really, really, really uncomfortable. And it's supposed to be. This is supposed to be an uncomfortable time, because you can't go into something new when you're still having, the old way of doing things. People always want that new beginning, right? But then they're on the defensive. They play on this defensive side where they're not quite willing to let go of the way they've been doing things, because it's like an ingrained pattern of behavior. It's the foundations of their belief system. And so right now, I made a video about it earlier today, but it's about not fearing what you don't understand, or what you perceive yourself to not understand, because everything is unfolding right now. And sometimes people are just being called right now to literally change your lens, because the problem is so many people are experiencing this. I want to call it like a disconnect, but this disconnect is all about you are being supported on your path, but the expectation of how you're being supported isn't being met in the way that you think. So when I say that, it's like, from a money, let's talk monetary, financial things, because everybody likes to look at that. Sometimes you have to, you spend money, right? And people are like, I don't know where it's coming from. I don't know where it's coming from. But when it's things that you need to invest in to change a situation or to make something better in your life, doors are constantly being opened for you. I just had this conversation with someone the other day. They're like, "Oh my God, I'm getting myself in debt," and I'm like, "Okay, but stop." Spirit, universe, God, creator, whatever your understanding is giving you ways to navigate through your situation. So you're being presented with opportunity here. It's not a roadblock, it's a door open. Yes. Are you having to invest monetarily to protect your peace, to change a situation, to change an outcome? Yes, but you are being provided for. You are being divinely guided. All the doors are open for you. It is just waiting for you to step into it. And the thing is, what many people are doing right now is they're trying to make logic of illogical situations. And you're attaching to like other people's realities is what my team keeps calling it. People are attaching to other people's realities, and then they're calling them obstacles in their path. No, that's not your reality. And you're blindsiding yourself by trying to overcome an obstacle or insert yourself in someone's reality, paradigm, path, whatever, and adopt it as your own. So you're seeing it as an obstacle because that is their lesson and not yours. So you're missing your lesson because you're so focused on someone else's, and whether that's some of that, it even comes from a justice space, right? Like, we are in a year of balance. 2024 equals 8. 8 is balance. 8 on its side is the infinity symbol. The infinity symbol represents the return of energy. This is the balancing of the scales on a collective fucking level. So the thing is, this is a year of balance. What you put out is what you will get back. It is just that simple. So many people are caught in trying to serve balance, serve justice. There is a natural path unfolding for all of these things. Allow them to unfold. Let go of your expectation of what someone else's justice looks like. Because what you think their justice is versus what God, Spirit, Universe thinks their justice is two completely different things. Stop trying to, like I said, stop trying to insert yourself in someone else's paradigm because you are being supported along your path. You're just caught up in bullshit that's not yours and thinking that something's missing for you. We've got the Hermit card out here, which is just uncanny, because I just gave a message this morning about people almost being in this hermit mode, sitting at their table, their map table with their lantern, and they're burning that midnight oil, and they're like trying to figure out what the next plot on their chart is, what the next piece of their puzzle is. You are not supposed to know right now. You are supposed to be trusting. This is about blind faith. Fucking blindfold on into the unknown, uncomfortable as fuck. I don't know what's gonna happen. That is the assignment. You are not supposed to fucking know. This is a deconstructing of webs and a constructing of an even bigger one. Let shit fall. As we talk about justice, and the justice card comes out. But the thing is, and my team said this the other day, it's not about endings. There are no endings. There are only transitions. So when you think that something is just ending, you get stuck in this, some people get into it like a feeling of defeat or a stagnation, or they're stuck in the destruction of something ending. The destruction is your transition. You have to learn how to flow with the transition. For many people call it a tower. Some people call it, going against the flow. Whatever element you like to attach that to in your space. Fire is purifying. Water is cleansing. These things are, what does water do? Water erodes. It creates a path. Let it flow. Fire purges, destructs, cleanses, purifies. Let it do it. Let it do what it needs to do. There's been heavy dragon energy, heavy phoenix energy around so many people for days now. For days. And the thing is, that is your protection. That is your power. It is here for a reason. Many of you feel it, even if you can't identify it. It's the brewing in the background. Things are unfolding. You have to let them unfold with no expectation. We got the Emperor out here. This is your lead by example. You have to be the change you wish to see in order for things to change. Nothing is going to change in your life until you change it. So if you're waiting around for Captain Save-A-Ho or your knight in shining armor or whatever, it's not coming. I'll say it, it's not coming. You make the movement move. You make your shit change. Yes, I said Captain Save-A-Ho. But that's the thing. This is the balance, the transfer of power. You gave your power away. This is regaining the reins. This is holding your chariot. This is being in the driver's seat of your life. No one's going to change it for you but you. You keep giving your power away, keep expecting fuck shit to happen to you. Take your fucking power back. It's that simple. Stand in your truth and do so unapologetically, Queen of Swords. This is about the truth and the clarity that you have. And the hang up for so many people right now is, what's somebody going to think about me? What's somebody going to say? What somebody is, you are worried about shit outside of yourself, but you are being asked to embody your Queen of Swords. You have what you need. You have the wisdom. You have the knowledge. You have the foundation to constructively look at things through a lens of clarity. This is where you stay emotionally grounded at all times. Truth will prevail. That is the balance that is being brought. The web of truth and a web of lies, that is the paradigm, that is the opposite. Let the lies fall. The web of truth just continues to be reinforced. And that is what we're experiencing right now. The fall away of the old and the construction of the new. And there are many lined up to help transition people along their path should they want the help. The caveat there is should they want the help. You cannot help people who don't want to help themselves.
All right, so bridging off of that, for those of you who are just joining the room, we're throwing a collective. We have one person, Miss Megan, on the list. The list is open and reads are $20 for dual reads today. You'll hear from both myself and Miss Keys of Wisdom 369. And I can promise you it'll be what you need to hear and not what you want to hear. Not today, not with how my team is. Over here, it's going to be sassy. I already feel it. So right away when I tossed for collective, the very first thing that came out was somebody's just forgetting who they are. Like somebody is for damn, like they are forgetting who the fuck they are. We have this 9 of Wands here, but they showed me a picture of somebody being knee-high in mud. Like mid-calf, knee-high, tromping through the swamp. Like we are in marshy territory and you are just heading through, and they're just saying that the rest of you is not dirty. This is not where you belong. This mud and swamp is not yours, and they just have you as having to travel through it to get to the other side. They are representing you out here on my table as the high priestess, and they're saying that you need to be rooted in your strength right now. What you are traveling through is not yours, so don't get lost in it. They're saying keep a steady head, and I keep hearing what you are traveling through is temporary, and you are going to be finding the light on the other end of the side. The light on the other side, but that's not how they said it. The light on the other end of the side. Good God, guys, get it together. And they're just talking about someone, like kind of Keys was mentioning, somebody not having full faith in themselves. And this could be looped into your fear of the what if, of what's going to happen, of the I don't think that this is going to work out. And they're just talking about you're tricking yourself. This is you limiting yourself 100%. We have big things coming in. Started at the bottom, now we're here. Got the energy card on the bottom. If you feel that you are being drained of your energy right now and you are in conflict, and they're specifically talking about mental conflict, you are sitting up late at night. They keep showing me somebody on their bed late at night contemplating the world. They're just saying stop doing that. You have the power to get yourself out of the situation that you got yourself into is what they're talking about. So this is somebody who's just been spending a little bit too long where they don't need to be. The swamp isn't yours. You're traveling through it. You're the meadow on the other side is the analogy that they're giving me. But they're just talking about your vulnerability here might be your downfall. And they don't mean that in like a bad way, but they're just saying you're going to fall victim to your own vulnerability. You're going to fall victim to your naivety. You're going to fall victim to, they're physically showing me like naked skin. You need to protect yourself when you're dealing with others who who may not have the energetic practices that you do. And this is how you kind of avoid getting sucked into their swamp. However, we do have new things being ushered in for you. I have the Knight of Cups down here. And the Ace of Cups as well. So they're talking about a brand new emotional beginning. And it's going to head to you quickly, is what they're talking about. But they're saying it's not without work for you. For some people, this is going to be reliving, like revisiting or re-remembering exactly what you're here for. So rediscovering your purpose, rediscovering your passion in specific. And you're only going to be able to do that by blending the three, your mind, body, soul. And this is you being enlightened and bridging the gap through your high priestess, is realizing that you have all the tools, you are balanced, you are mature, and you are purposeful. But they're saying that this is not going to happen without a self-evaluation. So if you are not diving into yourself, I'm hearing showing yourself forgiveness for either love not given to yourself or for beating yourself down while you've been traveling through the uck of everybody else. And they're just talking about this is what's needed, but they're just warning you to be careful while you travel through the mud of others. And this is like the undertone on this entire spread, is just being careful when you travel through the mud of others, that you're not reckless. They don't want you to be reckless, but they want you to be fearless. So you can do dangerous things in a safe way. So for whoever needs to hear that, I don't know if that means something to somebody in this room. You can do dangerous things in a safe way. And they're saying that when people get hurt or they get stuck, and somebody is air quoting stuck, when they get stuck, is because they did dangerous things in a reckless way. If you are cautious and you are careful with your moves through dangerous waters, through mucky waters, you're going to be fine. They're just talking about these mucky waters could be looking to you like negative things going on in your life right now. They're specifically talking about finances and financial struggles, but also relationship chaos, relationship with others, and they are specifically talking about family. Now, they're not necessarily saying relationships is in a lover relationship, but they are definitely talking directly about family. So maybe this is an intertwining of just the family atmosphere within the home. But they're just talking about keep your head about you while you travel through. It's almost like this like almost like a move in silence, but not in secret. Like, there's no need to panic. Don't panic rush through. You're going to hurt yourself. They're saying you need to trudge through like you own the damn joint. And this is you grabbing on to your inner bad bitch. This is you realizing who the fuck you are. You should be able to this is what they're saying. You should be able to lay your head down anywhere and know that you are protected. And it doesn't matter how dark you have to go. It doesn't matter in what shady neighborhood you are in. And that's the way they're using the analogy, is that you should move as though you are untouchable. And they're just, that is just the knowing that you should have, because they are saying that right now you could not be more protected. It's not saying that nothing will ever harm you and go around naive. No. But they're just saying that's the type of confidence you have to have, not only in yourself, but in your team. Talking about that there's not a single thing on the planet that you can't handle. And they're just talking about you overcoming the idea of like this inner, not only this inner self-destruction, but also the idea of like the idea that like you could fail, like the idea that you could get stuck. And they're just saying you're focusing on the wrong fucking things. You need to focus on everything you can do, everything you do well, everything you have done, your power, your strength. And they're specifically calling forward your fire here, and you need to walk around like you a bad bitch. And that's the only thing they keep talking about, is if you can flip this mental anguish that you are going through, which is trickling, and you're being affected and afflicted by the things around you, if you can flip it and you can start coming out on top, that's where you need to be. They're saying the swamp can end as quickly as you want, and it's up to you as to how far you walk through it. So for some of you, you might be walking through circles, and you're taking a longer path, and you're delaying yourself. And some of you are just nose to the grindstone and going straight through it. Welcome in, welcome in.
And everybody.
We are doing dual reads today. We're doing $20. You'll hear from both myself and Miss Keys of Wisdom right now. I have Miss Megan on my list. Do you have anybody on your list at the moment? Okay.
That casino, I can only imagine what this journey is for you right now. And I hope it is the most beautiful beginning for you.
Thank you for all the gifts. Thank you for all the love taps. Thank you for the shares and the follows that I missed while I was chit-chatting over here.
The fact that you can acknowledge that it takes work to get you to where you want to be because you're doing what feels right for you. You have this awareness already where when I say you're putting your money where your mouth is, I call it put up or shut up season. Because that's the thing. You are in the driver's seat. You get to decide what makes you happy. That may mean you have to deconstruct a lot of things in your life, but you're living on your path now. Nobody else's. You're not giving your reins away, right? You're not fitting into the box and the constructs and the paradigms that everybody else thinks you need to be in. And you are liberating yourself. And the fact that you're saying how you have this awareness, even if it's stuff you have to work through, like you're willing to do the work. So you're not just talking the talk, you're walking the walk. And your path will continue to unfold as long as you stay true to yourself. And that is a beautiful, beautiful thing. Are we ready for Miss Megan?
Sounds like you are.
Oh,
Sounds like they are.
I've been ready.
All right, Miss Megan.
All the text out for Miss Megan.
All right, Miss Megan. Keys is going to kick off your read. The list is open, guys. We are doing $20 today. We have Cash App, we have Venmo. You can send it to either myself or Miss Keys of Wisdom to get on the list. We will check the list again after Miss Megan.
Hey, Miss Megan, Miss Megan. I'm going to show you these first because I know you like visuals. We've got the Decisions card out here. We've got the Rebirth card out here for winter. And we've got the rose-colored glasses. My team is saying right now that you are at this precipice point of decisions, and you're really kind of being called out in your personal space by your guides, by your ancestors, by spirit. And they're saying, you know, you've been asking for this rebirth for a really long time, but right now we're needing you to take these off. You've started to, but sometimes you kind of like go back and forth where you put them back on because you're in this point of your healing where it's starting to get more uncomfortable is what they're telling me, because you're doing work, but sometimes when we start doing the work, it's like we reopen these wounds at once, and it's almost like kind of salt in an open wound. But this choice here, you keep beating yourself up here is what my team is saying, and I clarified that, and it's the right way card here. You get stuck in this ebb and flow space in your head, and it's not necessarily a positive ebb and flow of making sure you're doing everything the right way. And the thing is there is no right way and wrong way. There's only the way that works for you. So that's why I said they're asking you to take off the rose-colored glasses from the sense of you don't need to make it so black and white. There is gray, and it's okay to be in the gray area. So stop limiting yourself to, I have to do this in the way that someone else does it, or how someone else does it, because your path is yours. And that, again, this ties into the Fresh Perspective card and the No Need to Fear card, which right now, like everything is fears being illuminated, right? Then I threw out of my other deck, and you have the Resilience card out here, and I want you to actually see it. Do you see how she's walking out of that tunnel? To me, this is a reminder to you of all that you've already been through. You have already walked through a lot of darkness, as my team wants to call it. But the thing is, you've continued forward on your path. So when you get in these situations where you're like, and I want to just call it like in your head, you begin to discredit yourself and you fail to see how far you've actually come. So although you're here and you're working on yourself now and you're investing in this, you have always been the magician in your life. You have always had these tools. This is about you standing in your Queen of Wands, right? This is you standing in your fiery, creative energy and realizing that you are in control. You are not at the mercy of everyone around you. And that's something my team keeps saying. You have felt at the mercy of others for a very long time, and it's only because you gave your power away, not necessarily intentionally, but you allowed your energy, your power, and your life force to go into areas, people, situations that didn't deserve that much of you, if that makes sense. And they gave me the Return to Roots card, which this is all about rebuilding your foundation. So you're at this point right now where you're on this path. 22 on the card, which is 4. What is 4? 4 is all about building your foundation. So you're in this space right now where you are being called to return to your root. And by saying that, what are you building on right now? Because people either tend to build on quicksand or they build on, a stable foundation. And my team is saying in the past, you tended to be a little bit on quicksand. You'd get up a little bit and then you get sucked back down. This is really about you being ready to have the courage to address those emotional, I want to call them the emotional, what's the word I'm looking for? Like if you just get pulled back. I can't find my words today. Words are hard. It's like where your emotions get the best of you and they just keep pulling you back into situations that you don't need to be in. And I think part of it is because you feel, I got the connection card out, but it came out in reverse. You tend to think that you're disconnected when you're not. You're just not sitting and pausing enough to connect to what is around you and has always been around you. You have a team, you have leaders, you have people waiting to work with you. But it's the pause and the expectation that you have that it has to come in a certain way that you're feeling disconnected. And my team just keeps saying you are not, and you gotta take off the illusion. Rose-colored glasses are the illusion. You have to take off the illusion that you're not as good as everybody else. You are perfect the way you are. We're all perfectly imperfect, right? As cliche as that sounds. You just get caught up in this fucking comparison game all the time. And that's what you're asking to deconstruct. And I have the Harvest card out here, but it's not taking me back to autumn. It's actually taking me back to the seeds in which we plant, we then want to harvest. This is the season of what? Death and then rebirth in the spring. This is where you have to lay your foundation so you can figure out the seeds that you want to plant, that you want to water, cultivate, and grow. So you need to get specific with yourself right now and peel back all the layers so that you can bring all these big ideas that you have, because my team is calling them big ideas. You have big ideas. You have more passion, more energy. You've got all of that. You just psych yourself out sometimes, more often than not. And you're calling you to stop doing that. Keep doing the work you're doing, but don't allow yourself to put back on the rose-colored glasses. Keep them off and allow this fresh perspective you're being given. When things scare you, ask yourself, why does this scare me? Why does this bother me? This is your transition of power. When these things are illuminated for you, it's so you can find and identify where you gave your power or energy away and where you need to slowly bring it and reintegrate it back in.
She's saying it makes sense over here. She's saying you're on point.
I can't see anything she's saying, so if she has questions, tell me so I can...
Yeah, no questions as of yet. She's just saying, oh my God, yes, a million times. And then I completely understand. I know you can't see it. I wish there was like a share chat mode or something, So, oh, Megan. Goddamn, girl. First of all, I don't know if your lower back has been hurting you specifically on your left side. Specifically on your left side. But if it has, you need to put some attention there. Or maybe it's just because you've been working more. But they are highlighting the left lower side. I want to call it on the back of your love handle, and I say that because I have a little bit of a muffin top right there. But it's definitely a lot of tension in the back. So they're just trying to bring to you that you are not flowing with energy the way that you think you are. That there is energy that is getting stuck in your body. So that means you need to start practicing a little bit more of a cleansing and clearing routine for you. Because the more confinement your energy has and the less of a flow state your energy has, they're saying it's going to start causing problems. And they're talking about this energy being a little bit of a tricky bitch for you. I'm going to be real honest. The way that your energy is not being allowed to flow in a natural state the way it would like to, and the way it should naturally, because you are a transmuter, whether you realize it or not, you are a form of a transmuter. So we are always taking in energy, and this goes for a lot of people around the world. We're always taking in energy, and if that energy doesn't have a clear pathway to exit and to flow, it gets stuck or stagnant, and that's when we start adopting things as ours. So this is a big stressor point for you in your lower back, is what they're saying right now. But they are linking it to some of your lower dantian, which is part of your lower chakra system. So just keep that in mind. Maybe start putting some focus there, do some good releasing work with other energies, and do some good grounding work. Start pairing those two in. I would choose grounding with water over earth to fight the mental stagnation that you are finding. Sometimes when we have too much of the earth element and not enough of another element like fire or water or air in our vessel, we can become bogged down and heavy, and our unwillingness to move can also cause a lot of stagnation within the body. So if you find yourself not wanting, and they're being very specific about not wanting to ground with earth, planting your feet in the ground, they're saying it's because you recognize... Okay, well, they're saying sometimes you could be cold and lazy, so I'm sorry. But they're saying that sometimes it's because you recognize within your energy that you have too much of that element. So you need to switch it up, and you need to bridge either into water, and you can make the water as warm as you want, because my team is kind of mocking you, going, ugh, and like pretending to shiver because it's cold. So just keep that in mind. But they are kind of bridging into a little bit of what Keys said. They're talking about this energy being a tricky bitch for you, and how it's causing you to lie and deceive yourself, and this is part of your mental struggle. And she kind of alluded to it, so we won't go super deep into it. But they're talking about you second guessing yourself, you thinking less of yourself, or that you're not as connected or not as one, or I'm getting a lot of like not smart, or you don't know what you're doing, so it's better to just not do it. You know what I mean? Like kind of like almost like do it wrong, but you're not doing it wrong. So my team's kind of rolling your eyes, and they're just saying doing nothing isn't the option either. So stop doing nothing. But they're just talking about you're currently going through, and they are directly calling it a tower moment. And this is your aha moment. They do have you starting to change the way you do things. So you are overcoming some of this negativity in the mental space, some of this negativity in your upper chakras, but they're saying that this is actually leading you to a lot more solid foundations than you think. They're saying, but it's gonna take not only courage, because they're saying you're gonna have to look at yourself in a way that you have yet to do so. You're going to have to start opening up some of the pathways and some of the things that you didn't want to open up before. And I'm getting the picture of somebody like going like this, where they're like, I'm not looking, and they're kind of peeping. They're saying it's just time to rip your Band-Aid off. No more trying to get it wet and slowly pull it so that you feel comfortable. They're just saying rip that bitch off. So there's something that you've been avoiding, revisiting, or looking at, or grabbing the bull by the horns, and they're saying this is exactly what they want you to do, because it's directly leading you to completion. It's directly leading you to your physical, not only abundance, but your actual physical pathway, like what you're supposed to be doing, leading you through to physical fulfillment, not just emotional fulfillment. But they're saying that you're not necessarily going to like your messenger. So whoever brings your cataclysmic event to you, you're not going to be fond of your messenger. They are calling it a very emotional message for you. When it hits you, it's going to hit you very fast. And it's going to send you for a whirlwind. So they are just reminding you that this is necessary for your rebirth. They are talking about your need for courage right now, but they're saying the backside of your rebirth is going to be a good thing. They're talking about your lack of community right now, or your perception of a lack of community. And they're talking about how, whether you believe it or not, you are a conduit for spirit. You are somebody who has abilities that have yet to be adopted or realized to their fullest ability. I guess that's the way to say it, to the fullest capacity possible. And they're just saying that they're not going to usher in your community to you until you get over this tower. So your lack of community is so that you don't project on others. Your lack of community is so that you don't invite the wrong people in to your community, the ones who aren't going to help you but are going to be your karmic lessons. They're saying they're actually going to provide you with community, but there's like a little bit of a double-edged sword here, which is kind of interesting. Spirit's kind of talking about how you're never without community. You just need to stop physically looking for it. Because you do have a lady who seems kind of, I'm not going to lie, she's a little see-through. She just looks like see-through. She's very flowy, but she hasn't left you. So if you feel at times like you get gusts of wind or blown in the ear, like somebody's blowing into your ear canal, that is her next to you trying to talk to you. I know that sounds really weird, but she's calling herself part of your community, and I'm taking it more as part of your team. Somebody who is there to directly guide you at all times. Now, they're just talking about you not feeling as though you can truly embody the full magician, not believing that you have the groundwork that you need to do certain things, but also you're kind of viewing your tool belt as being empty. And they're saying your tool belt is far from empty. The only problem is that because no one's held up your tool and go, this is for this, and hands it to you, this is for this, and hands it to you, you just assume you have no tools. And she's kind of getting a little bit annoyed, and she's like, you've been doing this for a little while now, why you think you're day one beginner, I don't know. She's getting pretty sassy. But she's just alluding to the fact that everything's going to be provided for you, and she is using the word provided, like it will be given to you when the time is right. But she is like, stop trying to rush through it. That is like her biggest message. Stop trying to rush through it and half do it. Stop trying to rush through it and half do it. Is the only thing she's saying. She's saying you got to do it and you got to do all of it. Otherwise, when you get to the other side, you're not going to have fun. Because you're going to have more shit in your way than just pure connection, than just pure joy, pure whatever, is what she's talking about. So she's saying the struggles are necessary, and she's directly linking back to this tower, this change of perspective, this revisiting of past places and experiences, and really doing. I mean, she's talking about shadow work, and I know you've been working on shadow work. But she's just talking about how, like, you're ignoring the big things and downplaying them. You're making your traumas and your things smaller than they should be. They're saying it doesn't matter to Joe Schmo next to you if it was a big thing or not, because they're saying to you it was a big thing. And it was a big thing to you when it happened, and you're harboring it in the vessel as a big thing. So she's just saying you need to give space that it's worth for each thing you encounter. And she's saying, don't get so focused on the labels for things. So maybe some of the words that are being presented to you, you're finding trouble adopting. That's fine. She is directly saying that you don't need to adopt any label that you don't feel fits you. So if you don't like a certain label as you're going through shadow work, or you're revisiting something and you don't like labeling something a narcissist or a this or a that, then don't. She's saying it's not the point. The point isn't the label. The point is just you revisiting it with a third-party perspective and seeing it and releasing it and coming to terms with it and readopting things back into you 2, 3, 4 on the clock. And she's just talking about this forward progression that you're making. But she's saying don't get caught up with particulars. Like she's almost saying like you're self-sabotaging yourself by being nitpicky with the words, is what she's saying. Like you don't need to get so overwhelmed or pulled together by the terms for things. She's just saying there's more to you than the terms for things. So you need to lose the idea that, well, it's not labeled that, or I don't call it that. She said, call it whatever the fuck you want. Like, she really is getting to the point where it's like she doesn't even care. Like, call it whatever you want. She's saying she just wants you to go through and do it to where you feel satisfied. She's just talking about you kind of like, she just keeps showing me a bush, and you like dancing around the bush. So it just tells me that like you're circling home plate, but you're not necessarily touching home plate. She's just saying it's inevitable, and this is part of your growing pains as part of your rebirth. So you're kind of doing a twofer. You're doing like shadow work shit, and you're also battling your tricky mind. And whatever part of you doesn't feel like you're as great as you are, which is a self-worth issue. Yeah, dude. See, I mean, she's literally she's like waiting for you to grab the bull by the horns and fucking do it. Like, it's almost like she's giving me the feeling like she's exhausted watching you go around the bush. Like, she's like, just climb in the fucking bush. Like, I don't know how to make that make sense. She's literally like, just hurry the fuck up. Because she wants you to get there. Yeah. I feel like, what's the bull, though? What? I feel like, what's the bull?
You mean grab the bull by the horns? Grab yourself by the seat of the pants and hurl yourself into the shit that makes you uncomfortable.
Yeah, stop. It's like stop dipping your toe in the water. She's saying just jump in the damn pool.
You know how to swim. Yeah, you know how to swim.
Yeah. That's what she's talking about. But this is also what she's talking about, because you just asked the question like, what's the bull though? That's what she's talking about. That's part of it.
The bull is whatever presents itself as your obstacle. Grab it by the horns and address it. The bull is just a metaphor.
Yeah, but that's what she's talking about, is how it's not even that you don't understand that that's a metaphor. That's almost like part of your deflection tactic, is what she's saying, is like, instead of feeling into what's my obstacle, you let your brain take over and go, I don't know what the bull is. You didn't let yourself feel into it, and then now you're gonna get stuck on what your bull is, and you're gonna be continuing the cycle of around the bush. You know? That's what she's talking about. Yeah, but that's what she's talking about. It's a self-sabotage technique. It's also a defense technique. And she wants you to put that to bed because it's keeping your e-brake on the whole time while you're trying to head down the mountain. Like she's like, hurry up, and you got your park brake pulled all the way. Like,
spread your wings and fly, and you don't want to.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like a little bit, like kind of harsh. I'm not gonna lie, kind of harsh. But like, I think she's just at the point where she sees that you can do it, and she's getting
She needs you to know
like,
you can do it.
yeah, it's like she's like, all right, that's enough. You know? Ugh. Whew. I always feel like I'm doing it and then stop or forget.
You don't forget.
No, you don't forget.
Sorry, but that's bullshit. You don't forget.
No, but that's what she's talking about.
But you just don't want to see it. It's right there. It's in your awareness field.
Yeah. Once you have an awareness of it, you don't just forget. You can consciously avoid, but you don't just forget. You can get distracted by other things, but then you have to realize that they are a distraction. You know?
Hey, hold on just a second for me, okay? My doorbell just rang. Hold on. Hold on. How do I pause?
You're good. Just go. No worries. Welcome in. Welcome in. We are doing dual reads today. Miss Keys is going to be back in a minute. We're doing $20. We have Cash App. We have Venmo. You'll hear from both me and Keys the Wisdom 369. Hey, Brittany. What's going up, dude? What's going on? Having fun yet? Having fun yet? Not much. Ready to have this kid, I guess. Yeah. There comes a point in time where I think every pregnant woman just wants her baby out already. So I imagine you are not alone in that.
Is my screen frozen?
No. Nope. You're fine. On my end, you're fine.
Like, I can't see anything in my chat. It's just got the red and blue thing down at the bottom. My screen got all dark.
Weird. No, it looks good over here. I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if, I don't know, yeah, that's weird.
There we go.
No worries. You're welcome, dude. Meg says thank you.
You're welcome. Always, you're welcome.
Whew. Oh my god. Ooh. Someone's not playing nice with others. Someone is having problems playing nice with others. You ain't got many people in here today. Jeez. Yeah, we did, and then we did a couple reads, and usually people leave after collective, and then we're pretty late today. We're usually on more at like noon Eastern Standard Time. So being on here close to 3 is not usually a good time because a lot of people are driving home from work and stuff like that. So kind of what we expected from being on for like about an hour or so now. So we don't mind though. It gives people more time to like utilize the chat and answer questions and everything else.
We're more interested in building community, and everything else is just an added bonus.
Yep. 1000%. 1000%. Did you get your chat back? Dang, man.
No, because actually there was somebody in my chat that my team wanted me to say something to, and they told me to. I sent them a message that said, "If you're still here when we're done, I got something. I got a couple cards for you." And they said, "Give me a sec," and I'm like, "That's fine." I mean, we were still doing our read, and now my screen's just frozen.
Well, tell them to.
If I go to tap on it, I can't tell them anything. If I tap on it, it just gives me the red and blue dot where it's just like, won't let me do anything. It won't even let me reply. It won't let me do anything.
Can you go out and then come back in?
If they're gone or whatever and I can't see them, they can shoot me a message. I'll say what I have to say. So.
Welcome in, welcome in. The list is open. We are doing dual reads today. We have Cash App and we have Venmo. It's $20 to get on the list. You'll hear from both myself and Miss Keys of Wisdom. Miss Keys of Wisdom. Because I know, like, sometimes I can, like, close down, like, if I switch to another app, and then sometimes my, like, live screen will reload, but not, like, exit out of talk, just, like, flip-flop screens, around.
It's been closed for 15 minutes.
Oh, good Lord. There's always technology in it. Good Lord. So how's everybody been doing? If you are in Keys' live, just know she can't see your comments. So if you want to get her attention, you're more than welcome to swing over here. I can tell her verbally anything you write down in the comment section.
If you are back in here and like I said, my chat's frozen, you are welcome to send me a message after we get off here and I will give you your message because I was pulled to do it. So just shoot me a message and yeah. Okay. But when I say this, we don't reach out to people. So if you don't reach out to me, then anything else, if anybody else were to reach out to you, it's not me. Because I won't reach out to anybody. I'm just telling you, since it's frozen in here, please feel free to reach out to me so I can say what I had to say for you. Because I only pull on stuff like that if my team asks me to. So that's why I said feel free to reach out to me personally and I'll give you that little quick message.
No, dude, it's got to be the energy today because, like, talk's been weird all day. It took me a minute to get the subscriber video to post. I had to, like, take an hour just to get it to post.
Yeah, technology's just...
Say it again?
It's just been weird.
Yeah, 1000%. 1000%. 1000%. Well, if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them down in the comment section below.
Questions, drop them in the chat.
Yeah, well, not Keys' chat. Don't drop them in Keys' chat. Come on over here and drop them in my chat, and I can relay them to Miss Keys. I'm gonna do a Sass Pants card. Thank you for the likes. Thank you, thank you. Welcome in, Miss Cheryl. Welcome in, Peggy. Let's see if we can do a Sass card.
I want to hear the Sass card.
Yeah, we'll see. What is up? Not much, not much. Just having fun today. It said, be the person you needed when you were a kid. It says, do you need someone who protected you? Did you need unconditional love? Did you need more attention? Did you need praise? Did you need to know someone had your back? You're a big kid now. And you can do all that little pipsqueak stuff for yourself because it's all still living inside your rib cage.
Facts.
Yikes. Yikes.
Not while you're seeing that one. This one coming out. The inner child. Connection. Letting go. Resistance. If that isn't.
Oh, yeah. That's just been an overall message lately. Wow, the back of that looks really cool.
Yes, it does.
Sorry. I don't know, like, what... I don't know. I think it's just a ring light, but...
Yeah, but every once in a while it makes things look cool.
I know, I was like, was shuffling, and I was like, holy poop, that's got something to it. Nobody knows it. Welcome in, we're doing dual reads today. We got Cash App, we got Venmo. It's $20, and you'll hear from both myself and Keys of Wisdom 369. If I could stop dropping cards on the ground today. Good Lord. Nay, how are you doing? Thanks for the gifts. How are you doing, Nay? You having fun yet, kid? Woo.
It's like people are bridging back to their inner child, and they're allowing that inner child to be heard. Bringing that, that balance, that justice into their life, because that's all they've sought out this whole time, is to make that part of them heard. So you've either got the people who are doing that, or you've got the people repeating their fucking patterns where they're in childish behavior because they refuse to acknowledge their inner child and heal from it. And it is so obvious in the patterns.
And on top of it, they're talking about, I'm good, Nay, dude. I hope you're doing good too. We're doing good over here. We're staying as balanced as we possibly can, But no, exactly what you were talking about with the inner child. Like, we have the soul retrieval card out here. We have the medicine wheel out here. And they're just talking about also the need for somebody to get their head out of the clouds. Like, they are physically talking about somebody being very unconnected and very aloof is the word that they're using, which is weird. I'm not one for using that word, aloof, but they are, but they just said the word aloof. So I'll say it 3 more times. Aloof. No. But they're talking about the need for you to pause, and the pause is really about a standstill. Thank you for the cones, Nay. Thank you for the ice cream cones. I think they're adorable. But it's like the need for you to pause and connect. And they're talking about connect with the earth, specifically, like put your boots back on the ground. So for whoever's in my room right now, there is somebody who's been a little head in the clouds, kind of lofty. And they're just talking about it's time to get back down and get reconnected. And connecting with the ground is just symbolic. They're saying they don't actually want you to do like a really deep rooted thing. They want you to connect back with yourself. This is that soul retrieval. And they're talking about you in connecting with yourself. You're going to reconnect with your council. You're going to reconnect with your team. And they're saying that this is what they're trying to get you to do because somebody's been ignoring what they're being told. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you. Thank you. Like, somebody is straight up ignoring what spirit is saying, and either you're lacking awareness because you're so high in the sky and disconnected you don't even realize they want your attention. Thank you so much. but there is somebody and they're just talking about you're going downward on your spiral, and they're not talking about like downward spiral like you're going chaotic, but life ascends as a spiral as we revisit and it turns, and they're saying that instead of walking up your spiral, you turned around and started walking down your spiral. And they're just talking about they want you to change direction. In order to change direction, you need to be connected. So they're trying to assist you, but if you're deaf-earing them, they can't help you. Welcome in, welcome in. We are doing reads today. We are doing $20 dual reads. We have time for maybe like one, maybe two reads. We have Cash App and we have Venmo, so please please go ahead and get your last call for reads in. You can send it to either one of us. It doesn't matter. We'll split it all in the back end. No worries. Welcome in. Welcome in. Your like emoji thing looks cool. I can't really see it.
Like transcend their physical self and their physical ideals and merge into that higher self calling, which again 23 on the card, 5 forward movement, change, all those things. But it's literally not limiting yourself to just your 3D experience, but also honoring your 3D experience, because that's what you came here to experience. So don't get so caught in the I hate everything here, because then you're sitting in a space of you're in an energy where you can't actually create what you want because you're resentful of what you have. And that goes back to that lack mindset and abundance and energy being your currency. Because in order to connect to that higher self, it's all about learning how to be present and in your physical body, as well as transcend that when necessary, but finding that happy balance in the two. Because it's the thing, you came here to experience life like this. Don't hate the experience.
Yep, we came here to be human, and that's one of the number one reasons we get turned off. And sometimes when we get so caught up in the metaphysical and the unearthly realm of things, and we don't have good balance between the two, is when we kind of get off track. And this is what they're trying to have you correct right now. They'd rather have you back on your destiny.
Awakening in this form, that is part of the journey. So if you're hating this, and I'm not saying everything's enjoyable, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that things are uncomfortable. Things are uncomfortable. No. Not what I'm saying. But that's the thing. You came here to experience so that you could awaken, so that you could transcend, so that you could
It's 20 flat, Michael.
But that's the thing. Don't hate the experience. And right now, I've seen that as and I hate saying this, like as the collective vibe, right? Like everybody's like, I'm ready to go home. I hate it here. I this, I that. And sometimes guilty. Sometimes I wake up and I'm like, I'm not sure where we're at today, but I don't like it here. But the thing is, some of us, when we talk about bridge gappers, transitioners, transmuters, this and that, we get taken back to other spaces, energies, this and that, because there are people now there that want to help themselves, and they need a torch bearer. They need someone to help light their path and walk along beside them. So sometimes I feel like we get thrown back into things, and it is your ego, and I say anybody's just collective, it's not out at anybody specific. Are you gonna allow your ego to say, oh, I'm not going back down there? Maybe that's part of the assignment. Maybe that is part of your mission. If you understand you're in the gray area and you're on this bridge to help others, then there is an ebb and a flow and an ascend and a descend, because you're helping those as those come to an awareness that they want help. So sometimes you're gonna have to play in the swamp of shitness and armor up, but go fulfill your mission. And do it with that humble heart, because now you're teaching, you're leading by example. That is the shift in power dynamic. These people who were once bound are ready to break free, but they need some support along their way. So we have the healing hands card out here. This is where we all come, a kumbaya, care bear stare, whatever, arm in arm, hand in hand, right? But that is the assignment. We are all connected to each other. So as long as you are still seeing yourself as separate, that's going to be an issue for you. When you realize that you can see yourself in everyone and everything around you, you are now bridging out in ways that you haven't before. And this is how we all come together. It's realizing that sometimes helping others along their path means you find yourself in spaces that you don't really want to go back to. And you get to decide. That's your decision. That's the thing. We all have choice. We all have free will. You can stay until you realize people are no longer trying to help themselves and they're just pulling on you. That's learning how to discern what's yours and what's somebody else's, and not attaching to somebody's reality, fuck shit, whatever you want to call it. You're there to empower, and you're there to be a guiding light. You're not there to fix, and you're not there to force help.
So we just got a donation from Michael. So I figured I'd have you start in case you need to pop off, and then I can always finish if you have to leave.
You want to start really quick, and I'll tell them I'm just going to be 15 minutes? 20 minutes?
Up to you.
Okay, hold on just a second.
All right, Mr. Michael, are you back in here? Oh my God, you're totally fine. Like, no worries. That's why we do last call. It says it gives people a chance to like pop on. Like, you're perfectly fine. Um, but are you ready? Are you ready, Miss Keys? Yes. Michael says he's ready.
Michael, do you have a quick temper?
He says yes.
My team is just saying that, like,
Not so much anymore, though.
I was just going to ask you, I was going to say, my team's talking about how you used to be a quick-tempered person, and right now you're trying to realize that the power of your words have, and you're being very mindful of that. And my team is kind of telling me that, like, you've taken this step back in your life. I just lost my card, sorry. You've kind of taken a step back, a pause, a return to the seat of the observer here recently. And it's like they're saying that the intentions and colors of others have been revealed to you. And there's a falling apart of things in your life. And that's not in a bad way. I'm sorry. I wanted to say that. Not in a bad way. Sorry. There's a falling apart of things, a destruction of things. And you almost find yourself in this seat of yours. But like there's all this kind of like, I want to call it chaos just because I don't have a better word. But it's like this kind of like tornado of energy from other people around you. And it's like others are having this realization about you, and I'm not pulling on other people's energy. It's like where they've misjudged you, they underestimated you, and the energy that you sit in. Like my team just keeps saying, like, you're a rarity. You're a rarity to those around you, and there's this uncertainty in your energy now, because this is like you coming back into you, where you've let everybody tell you who you are and who you want to, who you should be and how you need to show up in their life. And now you're like, bet I'm just going to step back. And now you're kind of watching everybody trickle away and fall back. My team's calling it a fallback. And they're saying this is where that quick temper came in. Before, you'd had this quick temper. But you've switched out of this energy of I kind of want to call it like stubbornness. Like you used to be somebody who used to have the last word. My team is just saying you used to have the last word, and now you're just like, fuck it. So I said, I don't know if you used to find yourself in like arguments a lot or round and around conversations is what I'm hearing. But this has been like, my team's calling like, this is a shift back into balance for you, is you don't sit in this lash of the tongue. I need to have the last word. Like, you're moving out of your ego in a really healthy way, is what my team is saying.
He's saying, spot on, now I'm quiet.
Well, like, and so what they're saying is like, you used to look outside others for validation and to find your peace, and you used to look at things like your happiness and peace and contentment and whatever as things that could be taken from you. And now you realize that you had them in your control all along. Those are the things I call, like, my team calls, they're like the tools on your tool belt. So you realize these things that you once thought were being taken from you were really in your possession the whole time. And that, again, goes back to this balance that's being brought into your life by you. Because you were always thinking these things could be taken from you. So you sat on this fence of, like, where you were defensive, but, like, now you're like, again, my team just my team is all about, like, fuck it energy and, like, fuck around and find out. And you're like, I don't even care if you find out, because, like, I'm just over here, like, you literally can't take this from me. Like, I gave this away to you, and now I've taken it back, and I'm sitting in this. Don't take this wrong way, this is the Queen of Swords, okay? But the Queen of Swords, we're all feminine and masculine energy. This is your sword of truth, right? So you've realized, you've seen through the illusion, the delusion that you held, right? And now you just sit in truth. And you're like, I don't care what you say about me. I don't care what you do. I'm not participating. You now have this, I understand the power of peace. And you're not coming to take it from me because I can only give it away from you. Give it away to you, excuse me. So when I say this, my team's just like applauding you right now because you're realizing that nobody can take shit from you and that you now sit in this energy of you're very mindful. My team is calling you mindful, which takes me back to this Queen of Swords. You've balanced those things about you. You've balanced your head heavy, masculine, and feminine energy. So now you sit in balance where you don't lash out at the tongue. You don't overthink shit. Because at the end of the day, you're good with you. And that was your biggest obstacle. Is it's like, I feel like once upon a time, my team's just, and again, don't take this the wrong way. My team's like, once upon a time, you struggled to, like, face yourself in the mirror. Like, to look yourself in the eyes. And now you sit in a space where, like, you like who you are. And when I say that, that is a big pivotal point, precipice moment, like life altering, paradigm shaking moment for so many people. And my team is just over here. They're like standing on my back, just clapping for you. Because the thing is, when you learn to like yourself and to love yourself, nothing outside of you affects you.
He says, I own my energy and power, many years of work and realization.
And I could be wrong because I know this applies to a lot of people, but it's like Michael the child fought to be heard by many. But like we were talking about earlier, you've bridged that connection back to your inner child where you're not seeking that validation anymore because you hear you. And that was the lesson. The lesson was you hearing yourself was enough. You didn't need everybody outside you to validate it. And then I have the Hermit card out here, which just goes up with your last comment. I just found it, funny because that's all that fell out. You had to go within. And so now this is your shift, right? You've brought balance to your own life. So now as you emerge back out from Hermit, from all the work you've done, from recognizing your energy, from learning how to discern what's yours and what's not, and detach from things, you now step into the role of a teacher. We are always the student, sometime the teacher, but this, sir, is where you lead by example.
He said that's how it was at one point in time, and now I live for myself and my journey. You now sit as the King of Pentacles, sir.
You are a grounded masculine energy who knows that he knows how to lead the way. He leads by example, and he's paving a way and a legacy for those that come behind him. People talk about generational traumas and breaking, curses and this and that, whatever. It's very simple, and it begins with you, and you understand the assignment, is what my team is saying. You sit unshaken, is all they're saying. You sit in an energy of nothing can shake you.
He says, I'm a leader and a teacher.
White wolf are in balance.
He says he's a leader and a teacher. Well, Michael, sir, I am probably gonna have to retoss everything because my lovely person pretty much just hit everything that I spent 10 minutes tossing. But we are gonna review it, and then I'm going to put them away and ask for something else. However, they are commending you, but they're also talking about you not only having to do, because it was work to find your joy, is what they were talking about. Like, you did the hard work to find your joy. And they're saying for a lot of years you outsmarted your common sense. And they're directly linking you back to the fact that you weren't getting anywhere. But it's pretty much like you wanted to say what you wanted to say anyway. And this was kind of, they're also talking about a family role. Like, this was your role in the family. Like, maybe you were somebody who just threw it out there and were like, this is how I feel, and you didn't give two fucks. But they're also talking about you having reintegrated your child. And they're talking, and I know Keys touched on this, which is why we're not going to go super crazy into it. We'll move on. But they're literally just talking about you are currently moving through your tower, because there's more to just your tower than the healing that you've already done. They are currently talking about you are re-remembering who the fuck you are, where you stand, and the power that you hold, the power that you wield your sword with. And they're also talking about you realizing now, as you've gotten a little bit older and you've matured a little bit more and you have done a lot of this work, that you don't always need to take up arms. They have this 5 of Wands out here, but they have you moving away from the need to always fight about something. Like the need to always like Keys was saying have the last word, but it wasn't always like the last word. Like, they're making me feel like it was just the fiery need to be like, I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel and you can shove it. And it's that kind of it wasn't even like a tit for tat, like you needed the very last word. It's literally just like, you're like, this is what it is, and you would slap it on the table. And they're just talking about you also at times did this to yourself behind closed doors. And they're talking about you realized that you were the only thing standing in your way and you were the cause for your unhappiness. They are calling you a shapeshifter. The before referred to me. Oh, the one of the collective pools referred to you? Oh, well, damn. Hey, get it. But they're talking about you being a shapeshifter. And they're talking about you changing form many times throughout your lifetime, but this is also becoming your rebirth. And I did have the Hierophant out here on the bottom of the card because you did not only learn that lesson, but you've learned multiple other lessons this lifetime. But they're talking about you now being able to share what you've learned with others, and specifically your family. Like, because they're saying because you did it the hard way, you get to now teach from where you were. And this is you shapeshifting, and they're just minding you that a lot of people are not going to like your recent shapeshift, especially the people who liked that fiery chaos that you brought, that little bit of spout off, because they're kind of leading me to make it feel like some people enjoyed that about you. Like, they got their own sense of strength when you were, and don't take offense to this, but they're saying when you were acting a fool. So when you were in your fire, the people that were surrounding you at the time, it's like you kind of like patted their egos at the same time, which is so funny. So they're just saying that with this recent change, if you haven't noticed, you may start to notice as you stand by the changes that you've made that certain people will fall away because they don't like the new you, because the new you is not something that they can siphon off of, and the new you doesn't help them at the moment, which is very interesting. You sometimes, when you bring solutions to people who aren't looking for solutions to a problem, you are the problem, and they're just saying that in this way you might irritate more people than you want to. So just know if you find yourself having to stand up to people you never thought you would, they're just talking about not in a fiery way of the past, but you just being like, no, this is what I'm choosing now. And you are calm, cool, like they are literally talking about you are a calm, cool, collected person, and you are able to keep a lid on it, and you don't even feel the need to assert that much into it, is what they're saying. And it just gives me the perspective of like you are now truly the magician. They do have you out here as knowing you have a sword sheathed and you could literally decapitate somebody with it, which don't get me blocked from talk, but that's what they said. You could off with their heads, should you so choose, but they're saying that now you have the wisdom to know when to keep the sword sheathed and when to pull it out. Now, they are talking about you gaining a new perspective on the people that you are around, yes, but they're also talking about the unneeded distractions of life. And this unneeded distraction of life is being represented as this Queen of Wands energy out here. And they are just encouraging you to follow your gut on this situation. So if you have somebody who is a little bit of an irritating feminine, who can be a little bit extra, a little bit manipulative, a little bit sassy, but stands her ground, sometimes to the point where it irritates you, like it irritates your being. They are just saying that you have the ability to leave and to walk away. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that this is a love relationship. It doesn't mean that. It just means you do not need to surround yourself with this energy when she comes your way, if you do not want to. So if it is something that you feel that it is backsliding you, because we do have a reverse 9 of coins and we do have a reverse 3 of coins, and they're just talking about this is not being conducive to where you want to take things. They're just cautioning you that you're being tested. It is going to be a test, and I feel the need to tell you that the Queen of Wands energy, even though it is feminine, masculines can still hide their femininity. They can still hide their manipulative feminine in them, especially if it's part of their hurt, wounded feminine. So don't be on the lookout for a fiery redhead who's going to come your way. That's not necessarily what they're talking about here. They're just talking about when you're dealing with other people.
Problem.
Yeah, they're just talking about when you are dealing with other people. There's going to be somebody here who doesn't want to work with you. There's going to be someone here who doesn't want to be a team player, and you're going to feel like they're pulling on you, and it's more of a struggle than it's worth. Spirit saying, you're damn right it is. Hey, Violet. Spirit saying, you're damn right it is. And this too is a test. They're saying you have the ability to walk away. If you feel as though that's something you should do, they're saying don't hesitate. They want you to do it. They don't want you to get stuck back in old patterns, and you do have the Chariot out here. And I'm going to be real honest. I have a feeling she's going to trigger. Thank you so much for the gifts. I have a feeling she's going to trigger a wound that your inner child has that may or may not be linked back to a mother wound or just a feminine wound in general, but it is directly linked to your inner child. And I am getting it like in the way that maybe it mentally bothered your inner child. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the follow. But whatever this Queen of Wands energy is bringing to you is going to trigger something that you thought you already healed, is what they're saying. It's going to test something that you thought you already healed. And they're just saying that doesn't mean you need to surround yourself with it. It's just there to shed light and awareness on a piece and part of yourself that you thought you were done with. Like they are saying like you thought you were done with it. And now they're just testing it. But they're encouraging you to follow your chariot. So if you feel like you need to take a deep dive and assess the inner child when it comes up, deal with it. If you feel like you need to move away, because I do have the Six of Swords, you leaving the energy as the magician, knowing what you're worth, knowing your tools, and doing so in a healthy and safe way, they're saying do it. So just know that you do have a little bit of like a tricky lesson coming your way, which is going to test how much you think you are healed, which is very, very interesting. So just be on the lookout for that, Mr. Michael. They're saying you've done a lot of work, and now it's test time. That's all they're saying. Now it's test time. Thank you for all the gifts. Thank you for all the follow.
I was going to say they gave me the resilience card and the rising up card. So I said, continue your rise.
No more tests. You know what?
I tell you there's no more tests, but that would be the lie detector test determined that was a lie.
You are the father. No.
Like, no more tests, please. I'm done. I don't want to play anymore. Like,
you are the father.
And I'm like, oh, yes, yay. Yep, it's opposite day.
But that's like, yeah, I know. It's all my life is tests. But you know what? New levels, new devils. What?
I said he got the clearing his way card. And I'm like, no. All the tests, they're all clearing your way so you can continue forward movement. And that's what I tell people. A lot of people are seeing fives right now. 515, 505, 555. Those are all about change and forward movement. Going with the flow. Realizing that the obstacles aren't really obstacles. They're just perceived obstacles. And you can go around it. You can go up it. You can go through it. There is a way through, around, up, over everything. It's just about which way you want to learn it. You are in the driver's seat.
Yeah, it's just a test, so it's not necessarily do whatever you want to do. They're just saying you can't avoid it. So should you choose to avoid it, it'll find you again. And should you choose to sit in it and not heal it, not learn it, but get pulled into the chaos of it and go back to your triggered Michael, go back to your popping off Michael, go back into the hurt Michael. They're just saying it's going to highlight something that you think you dealt with in a new light because you missed something. And it's not a bad thing. Everybody naturally goes through those cycles, but they're commending you and then also throwing you your curveball to be on the lookout for it.
There's always a curve.
We moved past it and I don't want to come back. But exactly, but that's your test.
Here's the thing, when they bring you back to stuff, it's because you have gained a new perspective and a new lens. And when I tell people, it's like, when you're about to make a big shift, right? You're going to feel like you're getting super fucking tested because it's like when I say what goes around comes back around. So you've already experienced it. The hard ways, the painful ways, the this ways, and you've continued to persevere your resilience. You keep moving forward, right? So they're kind of like, okay, now it's finals time, right? You passed the quizzes, you passed the tests. Now we're at the end of the semester. So we're going to throw it at you all again and make sure you understood. You've already shown us you've understood, but we just need you to show it to us one more time. And it's on like a whole next level scale. And you're like, I'm done with this. Like I did this. Don't I get extra credit? Can I just not pass? Like, can I just go, go past go? And it's like, you can, but you got, it's put up or shut up season. So they're like, here you go. One more time. We're going to test y'all at once, but you got this.
And sometimes when we heal things, so basically level 50 and then we go back to 1 to see how easy it is. Yeah, but sometimes when we heal things, we heal them at different levels. So maybe you dug one level beneath the surface and you healed it and you're like, I got everything there is. and then you get to a new tier, a new whatever, and then all of a sudden they're like, let's revisit this with new lenses, with a new perspective, and then it cuts you a little deeper and you're like, oh god, I guess there was something still left there. That's all it's doing. But they are testing you in a way as to how you handle it, how you move past it, because it's also a show of your strength, and they're also giving you physical examples of your growth, because sometimes we don't see it. And you might see it from the, yeah, I'm not as fiery or I'm not as short fused, but they want to show you it in a way that's a lot more than just the outside, what other people see, you know?
Show you that it's not about eradicating all of that. It's about knowing how to harness it and utilize it, because all of that is important. You can't eradicate pieces and parts of yourself. You have to reintegrate them. And then part of that balance is knowing when to utilize what is in your tool belt. Or like we always talk here, and I love Child of Balance for saying this, it's not which wolf will you feed, it's how much will you feed each wolf. Because each wolf is important. So sometimes you just got to figure out how much to feed each one. Don't overfeed, don't underfeed. Balance.
And it's truly about finding a non-judgmental label, and that sounds really candy cake, you know what I mean? But if you still harbor a feeling of, oh god, I hate that, or oh my goodness, ew, I don't want to do that again, and blah blah, and it's like almost a negative connotation, not just a knowing that I don't want to relive that. But if you hold some sort of negative connotation, they'll bring it back to you. Because the goal is to accept it for what it is and not harbor anything about it. You know what I mean? And that's one of the fucking hardest things ever, especially when you're dealing with drama and traumas and big life events and some serious shit that's gone on. But they'll bring it back to you in a different ways, because it physically takes all of your energetic vessel to hate something. To feel so deeply about something that it gives you the physical sensation of ick, it takes all of you. So sometimes the growth isn't just, I can see it for what it is. It's no longer allowing it to have that type of energetic control over you. And eliciting that type of a feeling is a sense of energetic control. So I hope that makes sense, Mr. Michael. I do have to head out of here for everyone who is in my room. I appreciate you guys so much. If you guys are not a member of our website, you should become a member. It is 100% free. It is www.childofbalance.com. We both have link trees, and all of our stuff is in the link trees. Oh my God, no, thank you so much, Michael. And we seriously appreciate
so much for letting us be in your energy today. We always appreciate that, and we hope that your read was what you needed to hear.
Yes. So thank you so much, guys. We are on Instagram and we are on YouTube as well, so feel free to check us out on cross platforms. But we will be heading back out, and we will see you tomorrow at some point. I'm glad that that's exactly what you needed, Michael. Thank you so much.
Bye, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you for all the gifts.
Bye.